Well, hi there. So in this video, we're going to do some practice related to the functions of money and the counting of money. And then we'll finish with a brief discussion about bond prices and interest rates. Let's get started. Okay, the first little part here is just what's the different functions of money when it's being used in different ways. So this is mostly going to be a multiple choice question or two on maybe a quiz or a test. Student pays tuition, medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account. Well, when you're buying something, you're using it as a means of payment. We call that a medium of exchange. So I'm going to just say medium of exchange. Woman compares the cost of tennis shoes at several stores. Well, she's not actually buying them, nor does she have the money herself. She's really just using the money as a unit of value. So we'd say unit of account. Unit of account. For the third one, you put $20 in your wallet for emergency use. There you're storing money. You're trying to keep its value, so we'd say store of value. For the fourth one, a child puts a birthday money in a savings account. Again, you're storing the value of your money. Could be a savings account, could be a piggy bank, right? There's a lot of ways that we could store the value. A man pays $1 for a candy bar from a vending machine. Again, he's buying something, so this is a medium of exchange. Medium of exchange. Let's take a look at calculating the money supply. So first is MB, M0, M1, M2, and use the data. So this is all actual data from basically these. This is actual real numbers for the United States in billions, but we're not really worried about that part. MB. So MB is the bank reserves. That's these guys plus the currency. So that's 57. So 5,700. M0 is just these guys. That's the currency in circulation. So that's 2,300. M1 is these guys, savings accounts and checking accounts. So these three. So that's 15,700, 16, 17, 18,000. And then the only one that's in M2 exclusively is time deposits. So 5 plus 18 is 23,000. So you can kind of see how these are like listed together. Oftentimes you'll have kind of them included like little Russian nesting dolls in a little way. Right? If Maya withdraws $1,000 from a checking account in cash, what's the new value of? Well, monetary base, thinking about it for a second, when Maya takes the $1,000 out, the monetary base includes both currency and bank reserves. So it goes up the 1,000 because now it's in cash, but the bank had to give her the money. And so as a result, the bank reserves go down by $1,000, meaning there is no change in the monetary base. It's a tricky one here, but there is no change to the monetary base. Again, money came out of the bank reserves and into her hands, so there was no change in that circle of monetary base. M0, though, absolutely goes up by 1,000. So it was 2,300, now it's 3,300. And so we'd say up by 1,000. M1, well, it includes the money that was in her checking account, which now is down by 1,000. But M1 also includes currency in circulation, which is up by 1,000. So we would say that M1 didn't change, 18,000. No change. And with M2, the money that was in her checking account went down by 1,000, but currency in circulation is still included within M2, so it actually stayed the same, so 23,000. So the tricky part a lot of times with these is just remembering that sometimes the money is actually counted and accounted for. It's just moving from one part of M1 into a different part of M1, or it's moving from one part of M2 into a different part of M2, but the total amount of M2 money would actually stay the same. Now, the last part on this page is thinking about bond prices and interest rates. And I want you to think about if you basically bought a government bond issued a few years ago and it paid 5% interest for 10 years. It's a fixed interest rate. It's never going to change during those 10 years. And now assume all of a sudden that interest rates start to go up and new bonds are going to start paying 7% interest. In other words, you have this piece of paper that says you're entitled to 5% interest. So what's going to happen to the value of your bond as new ones start getting issued that pay 7%? Well, your bond's value is going to go down. We would say decrease. And the explanation is because as the interest rate rises, the old bonds, mine, pay relatively less than new ones. New ones soon to be issued, right? So like these new bonds will actually get issued and borrow. That money will basically, when we say issued, it's like the government is borrowing money, right? And so when we say they issue a bond at 7%, it means the government is borrowing money at 7%. And so people would much rather earn 7% than only 5, which means the value of your bond, the old one, doesn't pay as much, so it's not worth as much. We can restate the relationship between bond prices and interest rates just as simply an inverse relationship. As interest rates go up, therefore bond prices go down, and we can say as interest rates decrease, therefore bond prices go up. For the same reason, we would say that if interest rates were to fall, then the pre-existing bonds are more valuable because they pay a relatively higher interest rate. And so people would prefer the old ones to the new ones that are about to be issued at the lower new interest rate. So hopefully this helped you understanding a little bit about bond prices and interest rates, the monetary aggregates of MB, M0, M1, and M2, and the functions of money. I'll see you next time.